Hello, hello. Welcome back to days 26 and 27 check-in for the Gym Tang 30-day challenge. Uh, this is one of those times where, unfortunately, life just ran its course. Just family stuff got cut out to what I thought was a family vacation. I actually ended up just like standing a deck. I thought I was gonna have to do maintenance. We had a hot water leak at one of our homes, and uh, I don't know. It was just This is a weird weekend. And then I still had the research. I was away from Wi-Fi, so I was supposed to be enjoying spending time with family, but frankly, it wasn't very enjoyable at all. And also, this is like the last time that like I can like really spend time with my family. It's currently August 3rd as I'm saying this. I have about 2 weeks left until I go back to school. All the back to school operations are happening. That means not only for my clubs, but also for like my family. My parents coach. They have to start coaching soon, so they work full time. A 9 to 5. They have to drive, so they're up at like 6, and then they drive there. They're there for the whole day, and then they come back and they have a parent meeting, and then they start doing work. Sorry, not work. Then they coach for 2 hours, and it's going to be like that every single day. So it was like I've been seeing some things where people are saying like, oh wow, my parents aren't very hardworking, or like my parents should have worked harder to provide for me, or do this, or like my parents should have more money, and they compare the experiences that other people have, and I think that is the most ungrateful and disgraceful thing that you can say as a child. Like, sure, your parents may not be perfect or rich or bougie, and you see all these people doing startups, and they get lucky and they get like 300 million RR, like, and they're super successful, but like just I feel like people don't really realize how luck based a lot of these opportunities are. Like startups, for example, like Cluely. People don't know that it's going to do very well. It just happens to do very well. They did a bunch of marketing, got really good publicity, and they didn't have a particularly like good tool, but they broke into a very sensitive space for the U.S., which was not only interviewing but also the job culture. Sorry, not job culture, like girlfriends and boyfriends and conversations, in which Gen Z has historically been struggling with having conversations with people. So they hit a sensitive spot, and people are so obsessed with like being right and being accurate, and they're scared of judgment and failure that they would rather outsource their cognition to AI. Like, I do it too. I automate my workflows. When I teach, I gather information with AI. Like, almost all my ideation happens through ChatGPT, and the best developers and coders nowadays almost do none of their coding by hand, but they are still valued for their cognition and their ability to know what is right from wrong and what the intended effects of what they do is. And this is a very like CS oriented example, but frankly, I'm like, there is not enough respect for people just in general nowadays. And people are seen as like commodities, as expendable, and there's this idea that there's just this general like myth that there's so much opportunity and information nowadays, but to actually be able to capitalize on that and make something new and novel was just something which is so recent, and people just don't have context of what that history was and what it used to be. And I really, it's really shocking, earnestly shocking stuff. I fucked up this weekend. My sleep schedule was all fucked, and sure, some of it was outside of my control, but I didn't caffeinate, but I crossed the median, I almost crashed. And my family felt pressure from it. Like, my sister had to drive and help me out, and then I was sleep deprived on top of that, so then I get to the house and I just crash. And then I don't want to go to dinner. I still get my ass up and go to dinner after them bugging me a bunch. They had to keep telling me to get my ass up, and we go to dinner and it's fine, and then we go to the next day and I sleep in and miss going out with my family, and like everything's all fucked up and it's all my fault, and that's like life. Like, sure, the reason I was sleep deprived may have been because of communication error in my family with multiple variables involved, but I'm still responsible for like getting up and helping out in the morning, which I did. We had to stay in the deck, and I spent a bunch of time just painting, and whole family was in on it. Then my dad missed something and he had to go out for an event, so like we had to pick up the slack, and then we go out the next day and he's there at like 6 in the morning, got like 3 hours of sleep to come help our family. So everyone's pulling strings just to get some more family time with each other before the summer's over. And that is an example of I fucked up, my family fucked up, but you still put things together because you cared, and you recognize the downfalls of yourself and the people around you, and it's okay because we're all just trying. We're trying our best, and we usually do pretty good. Like 95% of the time, like we are able to, go out and get on time and eat dinner as a family and plan and schedule and all the beautiful things. And we fuck up sometimes, and shit happens, and that's okay. But And this is kind of a tangent just to say, like, you should try to put yourself in other people's shoes and like care and understand that even though we are so scared of failure and that jobs don't have much room for failure, and so does academia, and everything in your life just gets harder and harder and harder and harder, that it's okay to fail, and that your family and your backing and your background helps and supports you. And also to try not to be so insensitive. I said a jackass thing today. It was about like I when I woke up, I didn't see anyone, so I went back to bed. But I said it in such a way which implied that nobody was up and nobody cared and nobody stuck to the timetable that we agreed upon, which was just not true. I was just lazy. And that was insensitive to my family, and I fucked up. And I got lectured twice about it. But that lecturing isn't to make you feel like shit, even if maybe you deserved it a little bit. It's to make it so you don't fuck it up the next time. And trying to be better is so important. Okay, that's about it. Short little rant for you guys. And we're wrapping up this challenge. See you soon. And bye bye.